Writer of the Year. Not just a man, I'm a legend of our time. Greeting the fans, cause I'm infinitely kind. Oh.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our very first Carmen Conversation of 2021. Yeah. We are so excited to have you here today. I am Mitchell Napper. You may have seen my face before. I am Don Jose numero uno of 2019, and I am so excited to be a part of the crew this year for 2021. Today, my co-host will be none other than Mr. Malachi Adams.
What's up? What's up? How you feeling?
I'm good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Thanks for hanging with me today. Thank you. All right. So if this is your first time tuning into a Carmen Conversation or even being on our YouTube channel, a very special thank you and welcome to you. What we're going to do now for the new guys on the block is we are going to show a clip of Voices of Carmen, the 2021 cast, crew, audition process, etc.
Okay.
Amazing, right? I know.
I
know. I'm excited. By the way, shout out to the cast. They're in the comments. What up, y'all? All right. So we are currently in week 3 of Voices of Carmen. And let me tell you, it has been amazing. But for those of you that haven't seen the goodness, here's another video for you of our weekly recaps.
Action.
I am an artist through traditional art and music. When my emotion starts to heat, it's my art that cools it.
Voices and choices. Voices speaking to our hearts, speaking to our minds.
With words, they do affect people's actions. So if you're hearing a voice telling you to do one thing and you have another voice that's telling you to do another, it depends on which one you're going to listen to. Which choice are you really going to take?
Yes. One thing I too love as well, Genesis, is that you said right at the top, I have a different opinion than the two of them, right? And that's what we've talked about, making room for different perspectives, points of view.
So, week 1 was amazing.
No.
Yeah, awesome workshops, awesome rehearsals. It was great. But today, our guests are the actors that played Escamillo and Big E in 2020 and in 2021. In those productions of Voice of Carmen. And we're going to bring them in right now. Right now. Hassan.
Escamillo of 2021.
How's it going, guys? It's a pleasure to be here.
Robert.
Big E of 2021.
Yo, how are y'all?
What's popping?
God.
And Kobe.
Round of applause. Round of applause. Escamillo and Big E of 2020. What up, y'all?
What's going on? How's everything going?
Man, it's been amazing. All right. So I think we're going to start off with a little fun Kahoot, right, Malachi?
Yeah, we're going to start with a game. So today we'll start off with a Kahoot to see how well y'all know Escamillo. Let's go.
All right, sounds good.
Let's go. Who is Escamillo?
Oh, this one's easy.
Is it?
Is it?
Oh. What?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
He is a bullfighter from Spain. Bet. Finish the Escamillo lyric. Not
Bro,
just
again,
a man.
too easy.
I'm a
legend.
Oh, okay.
I'm a legend. He's a legend. He's got that macho, you know?
Okay, Escamillo, we see you jumping on this Kahoot.
Oh, multi-select. Who is Big E?
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, I think I might have to say a Spanish dancer. That's the one.
Definitely a Spanish dancer, right?
A Spanish dancer, bro.
Bro, he's the best Spanish dancer I know, bro.
Maybe he's a dancer. Who knows? I think Don Jose took the last cookie. That seems like
Totally.
the most probable.
That's like the most harmful crime of all.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely fight someone over a cookie, bro.
That's a punishable offense. I mean,
how could you? Oh,
I know I'm in last place.
Escamillo kills Carmen in the end. Oh, I don't know. You should. Whoa! It looks like all of these are the right answer.
It's hard which one to choose, you know?
So hard. It's so hard.
It was so fast too.
What?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
you're good now.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, jeez Louise.
Oh, all right, Kobe.
Oh.
Okay, Kobe.
Oh,
I'm in third.
Woo! All right, Mitchell. All right, you know.
First of all, you shouldn't have been answering any of the questions because you made the quiz.
Exactly.
I didn't make the quiz.
Exactly.
I did not make the quiz. That one made it.
I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't. All right. So was that not fun or what?
It was fun. It was
so
hilarious.
terrible. I couldn't stand it.
All right. So we're gonna get into a bit of discussion topics with you guys, discussion questions, etc. Right. So for all of you guys, what was your experience like? Specifically for Robert and Hassan. What has your experience been like playing Escamillo and Big E? Were there any good experiences? Were there any bad experiences? Let us know.
I think I'm gonna take this one first, if that's okay. It's definitely been a risk for me personally, just because I feel like my personality as a person is very different from Escamillo's in the play. Escamillo's this very flashy, this very flaunty, famous character. He's got a big ego, you know. He's got a big reputation to uphold. And me, you know, I just try to keep it humble, you know. And so it's definitely been a risk to try and step out of that for a moment and experience what it's like to be this famous bullfighter who's got like thousands of fans, right? He's known everywhere he goes. So yeah, it's definitely a risk, but it's a good risk. You know, it's one that I'm very willing to take.
Robert, you want to take it?
Yeah, I definitely echo some of the same ideas as Hassan. My character is similar in the sense that I'm the more future modern version of Escamillo. So instead of a bullfighter, I'm a DJ/rapper, and I know how to get the party going. You know, I know how to get the people excited, and all the ladies flock to me with seemingly little effort from me. All I do is show up and say some lyrics, and then everybody's on me, and it's actually been pretty interesting. Seeing the comparison of my character to the other characters, because it seems as if I get the girl with little to no effort, and then there's another contender who's singing his heart out and deeply in love and all of this stuff, and I pull up and I'm like, grab your party rag, flip it up, and everybody's on me easy, you know. So I think that's been an interesting thing, and yeah.
Great. We kind of already answered this, but my question for you guys is, has playing any of these characters helped you come out of your comfort zone or a place that you've established for yourself?
Definitely. Like I said before, it's been a big risk, you know, trying to step out of my sort of closed personality and trying to step into more of an egotistical, right, broad-shouldered personality. I'm a big man, you know. But yeah, it's definitely been a struggle, but it's been very fun. So yeah.
Is it okay if I answer this one too? So, playing both characters, I'll talk about Escamillo first. Escamillo, like you guys said, Escamillo and Big E, are kind of the same a little bit. But for me personally, I felt that Escamillo kind of has this entitlement to him, that he kind of thinks he's above everyone else. But not like in a super jerky kind of way, but like enough where it shows. And he's just like he's a really bold and kind of flamboyant character. I mean, I would say I'm flamboyant, but not in the way that Escamillo is. He's over the top. That's the word. He's very over the top. And Big E, he's very different from me. I had to kind of, cause I don't know. He's a rapper. And he's like has a lot of swag and everything. So taking that on was fun to do because it was a little different from me and kind of who I am. But playing both roles were super fun, and yeah, took a lot of like stepping out of myself.
Awesome. So we'll move right on to our next question. I want to step back for a minute and let's talk about, how did you all find out about Voices of Carmen? And did you think you were going to get Escamillo or Big E? Or did you think you were going to get Don Jose?
So I think I might take this one first again. The first way that I found out about Voices of Carmen, I think CJ actually sent me an email because she's at BSA, right? And so she saw me and she was like, I guess she asked for recommendations. I don't know. I just got an email, right? And she was like, hey, do you want to come in? You want to audition for this? And I actually received the email, like 3 days after auditions were finished. And I was like, oh man, I totally screwed this up. I'm done, right? I'm done. And I replied saying, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen this until like 3 days afterwards. Would it be possible to just do the audition? It's fine if I don't get in, whatever. She was like, yeah, come in. And so I did the audition. And she called me back. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm actually getting a role in this. And then she auditioned me for Big E or Escamillo. And I was like, you know, I'm kind of feeling Escamillo more than Big E, you know. I'm not a rapper kind of guy, you know. So it was definitely fun to audition for both. But yeah, and I ended up getting Escamillo. So yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, you know.
Yeah, in my case, I actually had Miss CJ as a instructor at Peabody Institute. So right now I'm going into my senior year at the Peabody Institute of the Johns Hopkins University. And yeah, we basically took this class together that's centered around like
building your brand and portfolio and getting certain things together, like a resume and budgeting and all this type of thing. And yeah, basically she'd heard a lot of my work because I am a rapper, and she recommended me for this Big E role. And I was just all ears. I was listening to it. I listened to some of the recordings. There was a familiar face. Wei Shang was in, I believe, the original iteration of it. And me having recognized her face, being part of the program in its earlier stages, was something that also pushed me to join. And yeah, it's been just forward ever since.
So I met CJ through Baltimore Center Stage because they had a youth drama club. And she was like one of the guest teachers. And after the club was over, after it was wrapping up, she asked if I wanted to be a part, because we did some singing in the club, and she asked if I could sing one of the demo tracks for this upcoming musical that she's working on called Voices of Carmen. So she had me sing a demo version of Say Goodbye, Don Jose's version. And then like a year later, when she had the musical up and running, I would be an understudy from like time to time for some of their performances, because I was like just starting college, so I couldn't commit. I couldn't commit to like their first run. But then after their first year, I decided that I wanted to audition for the following year, their 2020 cast. And I came in and auditioned with a great group of people. And for my audition song, I think she expected me to just sing the Don Jose song, but I sung the Escamillo song, Our Hero, because I liked that a lot more. Or I think I just wanted to try something different. I sung the Escamillo song, and she was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then she cast me as Escamillo for the 2020 Voices of Carmen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's cool to hear all the perspectives of like how you guys ended up in this role. But my next question is, what do you expect to get out of Voices of Carmen this year, and what are you expecting later in the production, further on and through the weeks?
So I'm gonna take this one again. So I think what I really want out of this is, so this is like one of my first times like actually singing confidently in front of like an audience, right? Every time I've gone up and I've done a solo, so I've been in the boy choir for a couple of years, like almost 10 now. And they've called me up for solos, and I've been completely choked up, right? I can't sing in front of people. But this is like the first time that I've like comfortably sang in front of people. So I really just want more experience. Just letting my voice actually like show, right? Not having the like the choked up voice in front of people, just like an actual good singing voice. So that's what I want.
Same. Okay, I guess. Oh, go ahead, Robert. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just been pretty big having to be very versatile to be in this show, because I don't really have any other experience doing anything music theater related. And so, I'm mostly a rapper / saxophone player. I try not to put them at tiers, but I'm a saxophone player first and then a rapper second and then other things. That's a more complex conversation I won't necessarily go into. But here I'm a dancer and a rapper and an actor, and having to do a singer and doing all of those things at once isn't necessarily my strong suit, because I'm more really strong in specific areas and much less others. But I think I've been trying my best to, adapt to the situation and figure out how I can be a better dancer and singer and these other things. And it's going to come together and make me a more versatile person overall, I believe.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Just learning how to control everything and handle everything going on around you, I think that's going to be a really good experience, especially going into the future, like moving on to future jobs. That's going to be very useful. That's going to be an asset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to kind of piggyback off of what Hassan said about kind of stepping out more with my gifts. Like I love to sing, but when it comes to like certain things where I would sing in front of people, especially if it was by myself, I would get a bit of anxiety. So just kind of pushing myself to do that more and just getting more comfortable with it, because it is something that I want to do. And then also So that was my perspective from like last year when I played the characters. This year I'm on the videography team. And with Mitchell and Malachi. And with that, piggybacking off of Robert, just kind of exploring my versatility and honing in my different skills.
That is so good. All your answers were so good. So my next question, what does Voices of Carmen mean to you? Like, what does it bring to your life? How does it add to your skill set?
So let's see. This is one I've had to think about a bit. How is it like different from every other job? Every other opportunity that I've been trying to like take control of. And I think just again, sort of piggybacking off of my last answer. I think it's an opportunity to learn just how to control everything going on around you. I get very scatterbrained when everything's going on around me. I tend to forget things, right? And so I think it's going to be a very good opportunity to learn how to like control all of that, and just control all of that.
Voices of Carmen to me means community. Because as the cast, we're a community. As a crew, we are a community. As a company, as a whole, we are a community. And then when we go out and do the shows and perform, we engage the audience to kind of have conversations with us, dive into this process and everything with us. So we include them in our community too. So that's what Voices of Carmen is to me.
Yeah, just real quick for me, I think with Voices of Carmen, during the days, there's also these workshops that we do, and we do these financial workshops, and we do these other self-help workshops and these other things to make sure we're, emotionally conscious as well as artistically conscious. And I think the attention to both those things is something that I value.
Yeah, I definitely strongly second that. I think it's a good source of mental health help. Yeah, mental health help. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely with all of that. One question that's directed to Kobe. So I know you played both Escamillo and Big E, as we mentioned, but what was that like? We actually have clips of you from both years, but what was that like in both scenarios, like in the same exact year? We're going to play
the thumbnail.
just the dramatic look.
I can't hear the audio. Like? Well, it was really fun being able to, because at first I was just cast as Escamillo, and then Miss CJ was trying to find someone to play Big E, and then she asked if I could also play Big E, since they do have a lot of similarities. It was a very fun challenge, because they're they're not that different, but they're two pretty unique roles. And like I said, I tried to bring as much of them as possible. I feel like for both of these roles, you have to be super confident. So kind of bringing that side out of me to portray both roles. And with like Big E, he's, like I said earlier, he has a lot of swag. I have like maybe a quarter bit of swag. So what I did was I try to bring as much of my spunk to him and make him like super spunky. And a little bit of swaggy. But yeah, they were super fun. And then like to kind of have two solo songs was awesome too. That's my favorite. Someone asked in the chat what was your favorite part about playing both Escamillo and Big E. And that's one of my favorite parts, like having solo numbers. That's always really fun.
That's dope. That's dope. To do both perspectives. Actually, you got the next one, Mitchell.
Got you. So we're going to hit this question, and then we're going to hit questions from the audience. If your character had a Spotify playlist, what song, just name one song that would be on there, One song that would be on your character's Spotify playlist.
Only one? Oh no, no,
Only one.
no.
Only one.
Oh, that's difficult. Let's see. See, I'd look at Escamillo and I think I see more than just fame. You know, I see more than an egotistical, famous celebrity. You know, I see a foundation of hard work, and so I think his playlist, his personal playlist, is going to be something that like talks about the grind. You know, the come up. So I'm gonna say two songs, but I'm either gonna pick "Other Side of America" by Meek Mill. If you haven't listened to that, that's a great song. Or "Till I Collapse" by Eminem. It's one of the two, but those ones are very symbolic to what Escamillo I think stands for in his core. So yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah. So for Big E, "Party Rag" is definitely number one on the Spotify playlist because that's his single. That's his track right there. And for Escamillo, I feel like either it'd be like something instrumental and super classical to kind of calm him down and get him ready to fight the bulls, like something like maybe something like that. Or like something like probably by Kanye West, because I'm sure he has like a song about like being famous or whatever. So something along that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my Biggie, I picture him listening to a lot of East Coast rappers. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of the group Mobb Deep or, some Wu-Tang in there, some B.I.G., like whatever can get him, whatever's talking about cash. Like cash rules everything around me, more money, more problems, just whatever stuff in this theme, because he seems like his come up, similar to Escamillo's, as Hassan was alluding to. His come up is more from like the hood background and trying to make it in rap. And so I think that he would have these sorts of influences.
Yeah, I could definitely see that with Big E coming from that background, just listening to like that old school 90s. But yeah, Mitchell.
Awesome. Those were some kind of songs, guys. All right, so now we're going to move to the famed part of the section. Questions from the audience. First one.
Steal yo girl. I got her. Easy.
I'm dead.
Oh my god, bro. That's perfect. That's literally the best answer.
That's great. That was so great.
That was amazing. That was beautiful.
You cracked me up. Oh, we're moving on to the next question. Okay. For both roles, what do you think is the deeper backstory behind both characters? Why would they have the suave, I don't know how to pronounce that word, suave attitude they have now in childhood? That's a good question. Hannah, not banana.
I think the deeper backstory behind Escamillo is like, when I was writing this the other day, I was adding on to it. I looked at the beginning of the writing that I started like months ago when I got this job, right? And I wrote down something. So Carmen takes place in a town called Seville, the like original Carmen, right? The French opera. And so I looked at pictures of Seville, and Seville is this nice little small town with houses very crowded together. I imagine Escamillo like maybe on the outskirts of that. And I wrote about this little dirt bullpen that he had, right, that he would use to play fight, when he was younger, and that's how he grew into it, and that's how he became who he is, and that's his whole start. So that's probably what I would say.
Because when I was getting into his character backstory last year, my perspective was that his father was a famous bullfighter as well, and so was his grandfather, and they just have this super long line of amazing bullfighters, and Escamillo had no choice but to kind of continue that legacy.
That's definitely interesting for sure. I've never thought of that,
Mm-hmm. And then for actually, let me not. There's another question.
So what parallels do we see in the character of Big E or Escamillo and ourself? Well, definitely with me, I think that with Big E, I mean, obviously he's a rapper, I'm a rapper. And there's this interesting thing about rapping to where you're trying to make yourself be artistically fulfilled, but also make music that other people might like. I see Big E more on the side of making music that others like, you know, so that people can jam to his stuff and so that he can be seen a certain way in the public eye. I'm less that way. I'm more towards the artistic fulfillment. But either way, we're both trying to make music and, you know, get it out there in whatever ways we can. So that's a parallel I see.
Definitely.
Yeah, and let's see. With Escamillo, this is how I would probably relate to him. He's a famous sportsman, right? I'm very into baseball, you know. I'm into waking up early, you know, getting on the grind, and basically just going at something until you get good at it or good enough to where you can be recognized for it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of themes of relationships in this story. How would you say Escamillo's or Big E's fit into this narrative of masculinity and toxic relationships? Oh, this is a juicy one, Ion. So they kind of fit into like the speaking for Escamillo. I know I'm speaking a lot about him instead of thinking, but speaking about him, well, both characters kind of have this kind of third, you know how in like movies, like romantic comedies, there's always this third character that kind of creates this love triangle. That's Escamillo, and that's also Vicky. And in Escamillo's case, I feel like I said earlier, he has this kind of, he's very confident and whatnot, but he's also, at least in my opinion, a bit entitled. And that might have something to do with his toxic masculinity. You know, he's just thinking he's the man, and all he's really had, all he's ever had, in my opinion, according to his backstory, was like strong men to look up to, but like all of them kind of have this mindset of toxic masculinity. So yeah, and him kind of wanting a relationship with Carmen, and trying to pursue that, and kind of when he gets rejected, he doesn't handle that well. So yeah.
Yeah, to sort of piggyback off of that, oh my gosh, I just completely brain farted. Oh my gosh. What you were saying about like his ego and his whole like entitlement issue, right? I think if Escamillo gets into an argument with his partner, it's never his fault, right? It's not going to be his fault. It's always his partner's fault that did something that set him off that's going to make the whole thing go downhill. It was never him in the first place. I think deep down he might have like sort of this, I don't know, not a victimization complex, but sort of like an entitlement that it's never my fault, right? How could it be my fault? Escamillo, me? No. Right? It's always something else, some outer cause. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is, you know, of course, this kind of idea is due to the popularity and everyone loves them. So how could they ever do anything wrong? And with I don't know, just being, I'd like to consider myself somewhat masculine, hopefully not to a toxic degree, but I know for a fact that it can get you can get kind of territorial over if ever there's a girl that you have. And I mean, I think that's considered toxic, but I think that's also like a beautiful thing. If I want you, I want you, and I want no one else to be with you. And being willing to fight for that and keep that woman, I think, is something that Big E would be willing to do. And yeah, I say, you know.
Awesome. What great conversation. I think that really gave insight into the characters of Escamillo and Big E, and to tie them in with toxicity in relationships. I think that's a needed conversation personally, whether it's about character or just relationships and toxicity in general, because I feel like we don't talk about that enough, you know, today. But we can't answer all of your questions, guys. I'm so sorry. We could sit here all day and answer questions because you guys were asking some kind of questions, and we love it. But nevertheless, can we please give a round of applause to our Escamillos and Big E's for joining us today on this here Carmen Conversation? Hassan, we appreciate you. Robert, we appreciate you. Kobe, we appreciate you. Thank you all so much. Listen, if you enjoyed this conversation, and you would like to donate because you love the work that we're doing here, the website is up here on the screen for you. You can donate, or you can go to Dance and Be More, which is our parent company, of Voices of Carmen, might I add, if you are feeling ever so gracious. Malachi, would you please explain what's next for the people?
Well, if you thought today was awesome, tune in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. where we discuss personal journeys, career transitions, and new chapters with Andre McCrae and Donna Vivino right here, streaming live on Voices of Carmen YouTube page. And our next Carmen Conversation will be July 27th at 2 p.m. So save the date, don't miss it. We'll be right here.
What? Awesome. And with that being said, have a great rest of your day, everyone. And thank you again for joining us here on the Carmen Conversation.
Thank you for
Like and
coming.
subscribe.
Thank you for coming,
Slide that
guys.
subscribe button.
Their comments cracked me up.